If I was to create a picture frame and then place an image within inside of it, notice that the image that I have is larger than the frame that I'm working in. When working in InDesign, those are the two things to keep in mind when creating picture frames. You've got the frame size and then the content of the frame size. If I was to use my selection tool and click on the little center button inside of any frame, this will allow me to see the bounding box for the frame, or excuse me, for the item that's inside of a frame. Now I can click on this and scale it down, and you can see what size it is. I can even move it around once I'm in here. And then if I wanted to change the size of the frame, I simply deselect it and then click anywhere that's not in the center of it to get the bounding box for my frame. Let's undo that and show you a faster method. This time, with it selected, I'm going to move it up to the top here. Look at the very top, just to the right of center of your tool options box for these two icons. These will automatically fill the content of whatever frame that you have proportionally. So with this first one, it will scale it down and fit the content to the size of my frame. So if I was to make it even smaller, with one click, I can scale it down and it's proportionally smaller. If I was to make it larger, again, it'll proportionally make it larger as well. The second icon will also fit the content proportionally, but this time it'll fit the entire content to the frame that you have. You may have a little left over at the top and the bottom as well. Some other things to keep in mind when working with the content: if you double click on the image, this will also bring up the image's bounding box, and you can scale it out. You can even rotate it or do other things within the content box. If you hold down your Control key while clicking on it, this will give you a pop-out and will allow you to do various types of transformations, such as scaling it, rotating it, but also flipping it horizontally and vertically, or rotating it 90 and 100 degrees. Additionally, it'll allow you to edit the original using either Photoshop or Illustrator, depending on the type of image that you have selected from there. The final thing to keep in mind, when you have a frame selected, look at the very top left-hand corner. Of course, you've got your X and Y positions and your height and the width, and you can also scale things, the height and width proportionally, or you can type in a specific rotation or a specific type of flipping horizontal and vertical from there. If I was to select the content will also change as well from the relative to what you have selected.